The exhibition is Global Citizen, and it is a display and presentation of my work from the inception to today. The curator, Donald Albrecht, is the one who coined Global Citizen because my being a triple citizen, Israel, Canada, and the United States, and active, very active in Singapore, in China, India at this point, he figured that what really characterizes my practice is the fact that I'm a citizen of many places. My professor who had tutored me through my thesis at McGill came down and said, "We're going to have a World's Fair in Montreal. I'm in charge of the planning, and I want you to come back and head the master plan team." And the cocky 24-year-old that I was, I said, "I'll be happy to do that, but I'd like to have permission to also develop my thesis and propose it as one of the central theme structures for the World's Fair." When it was all done, we went to Ottawa to present it to the Prime Minister and to the federal cabinet. They loved it. I was then 25. They suggested I resign and open an office and do it on my own. It's now been 51 years of doing architecture. Different projects present different issues, different priorities. But the common themes, I would say, is first of all that there are no universal solutions. Each building, each complex grows out of a set of considerations, and the center of it is the site. And by site, I mean the physical site, which has its own attributes. And then beyond that, the culture, the mode of living, the climate, the topography. So I say site, and site has many, many dimensions, each of which inspires the design. Then there is specifically the program, what the project accommodates. So if you're doing institutional buildings, a library, a courthouse, a museum, a mosque, a church, a synagogue, each presents rather different sensibilities. So when I do the National Museum of the Sikhs in the Punjab, I'm really immersed in Sikh culture, and I'm trying to make a building that Sikhs can feel that's ours, possessive of it. And this exactly the same is true when I'm designing the National Museum of China in Beijing, where again, I'm trying to get to the essence of Chinese culture in the architecture itself. And of course respond to Beijing, a city with pollution and hot summers and cool winters and so on. So one thing is that whole question of belonging. You know, in the lingo they say critical contextualism. This, you know, that's a fancy term to say you really design out of a consideration of the place and its specificity. But the other is more universal in the sense that the denser you build, the same issues recur. They might differ a little bit from a Nordic city that has seasons to a tropical city that has a more constant climate, but basically it's a question of light, of privacy, of openness, of views, of the integration of nature with the urban environment and vice versa. And these questions recur. They have to do with what I call, can you create the sense of a garden, or garden as a metaphor? Can you break up the massive buildings to permeate light, to create more opportunities for outdoor spaces, public and private? And the details of that resolution vary depending on the place, but the objective is always the same. And I call that, under the umbrella, that's all about humanizing megascale.